Hey, this is Samar Newsome, and this is the Musician Shed podcast. I got a very, very, very close brother to me with me today. I'm very excited about having him here, Mr. Aaron, Mr. Lab Monroe. What's good, Aaron?
What's good, bro? How you, man?
Man, I can't complain, brother.
I'm like proud of you, bro, for even, doing this podcast. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man,
it's been overdue. You know what I mean?
No, for real. We try to share some of our experience and stuff like that. So, I definitely am happy to have people up here, who one I've worked with, or even if I haven't worked with, but most of the people that I've already kind of had have been people I work with that I greatly respect and got to see their journey and know that in sharing their journey, there's something that people can get from it. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it's about. It's about like leaving the legacy, man. Like 50 years from now, this will still be on YouTube probably, or whatever the new YouTube is. Yeah. And somebody will be able to get some information that'll hopefully, help them navigate their career. So let's talk, man. You're a very talented brother. You got a lot of talents, man. So first, let's talk about how'd you get your start? You actually were a son of two musicians, right? Your mother's a singer, your dad's a musician. So tell us about your start and how you got into music and what you're doing these days.
Well, if you guys don't know, I'm a PK. So just born in that environment, born in that situation, coming up as a musician, very young age. Started playing drums at my father's church. At the time, he didn't have a church, so we was having church at this church in Irvington, I believe, in Newark, called Faith Christian Center. Do you know Faith Christian Center?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Pastor.
Is that on Clinton Avenue or no?
Is it on Clinton Avenue?
I feel like I've seen that sign before on Clinton Avenue.
I think
that was a bigger building.
I think it's on Clinton. It's been so long. Yeah. And excuse me for not remembering the pastor. Pastor I can't remember the name. Sorry. But I started out playing drums there at the age of I would say 9 to 10, bro. And not even drums, bongos. Let me just bring it. Yeah, so watch this. At that time when I was playing bongos, Cedric Marsh was playing. Yeah. He was playing drums for my father and was playing drums with Butch. Butch was playing keyboard at the time, and another guy named Handy. So every Sunday, boy, when offering hit, it's like, yo, can I get my time to play? Can I get my time to shine? And at times they'll let me come through and play like a song for praise and worship or offering, and that's how I started, bro. And just going to the rehearsals, just being around as a kid. Yeah, that was like my Boys and Girls Club. Wow, you know what I'm saying? After school, I was excited to go. You know how some people or some kids after school, they just want to stay around, hang out with their friends. Right. My situation was like, yo, I'm ready to leave school so I can make it to rehearsal on time, knowing that I'm not even there to really play. But just by hearing and just being in that environment, that was like fun to me. Right. You know what I mean? So that was really my start, bro. To be honest with you. Right up in that church.
I mean, a lot of us started out with church. You know what I'm saying? Like with our parents, or in whatever situation God allowed us to be in. Your dad had like a prison ministry or something like that. Were you a part of that too?
Low key, I was, man. Because you know what? As a kid, they like some of the prison systems. They even allowed me to pull up and play. Wow. With the choir, and I was young. Yeah. I would say 11 to 12 years old, dude. Wow. Like Rikers Island was one. Wow. One spot I'll never forget about, bro.
So y'all went to different prisons, because I had always heard of your father's ministry, Chosen Generation. I heard people talk about it all the time.
We went to different ones, bro. But I remember that one in particular,
Rikers,
because it was the craziest one, bro. Wow. Had to cross like a bridge to get to the island, to get to the actual prison. It was like an all day trip.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. So that was a different experience. But to see that at a young age was like a blessing at the same time, bro.
Yeah. How did they receive y'all?
Oh man, they was loving it, bro.
Yeah.
And a young guy playing drums, that kind of just got them real excited.
Yeah, because I think also you think, I mean, I would imagine, especially in a place like that, you could probably get used to seeing young people just kind of making a lot of mistakes and not a lot on the right path. So now seeing young people that are kind of like yourself at that time probably was encouraging a little bit, like, okay, so not everybody's going to end up in here. Because sometimes the reality feels like everybody's going to end up there. But
yeah. I think so. So that kind of made me feel some type of way in the positive.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Even as a young kid, it made me feel good. Like, wow, we can bring something that's amazing. We can bring some type of positive energy. Maybe that's going to change their life. You never know. And there's been a couple of people that when they got finished, when they did their time, when they got done, they went to my father's church and became members.
Wow.
So that was like, wow, that's super dope.
That's some impact right there.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I met you, you were a drummer. I think we did a recording for your mom once for one of her records. And then also at the time, she introduced you as her son that's a drummer, but also a producer, because I think you produced on her album too. So how did you get into production? And then like, what are some things you were able to kind of develop into as a producer and a drummer?
So crazy, bro, because, my father really played, both of my parents, but my father really played a big part as far as who I am as a musician to today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he bought me my first keyboard, which was the Phantom S, which we have at the church. That's like the first one that came out.
Right.
And it has a workstation so you can sequence, you can program, customize your drums or whatever you want to do.
Right.
So when I had got that for Christmas, dude, like I just never went back. And every day after school, bro, keyboard, making beats. So one day, my mother, she came downstairs and I was just making something and she was like, yo, I like the way that sound. Let's see if I can put something together. So that's how we created Thank You.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? That's like one of my favorite joints that she did so far. So we created that joint and a couple of other, but I really came up with the idea. You know what I mean? Because in case you guys don't know, there's a difference between beat making and like producing.
Absolutely.
So at that time, I was just beat making, coming up with the skeleton part.
Right.
And then we had the musicians to kind of like build it up in the studio.
Right.
And then I laid some parts on drums as well. At this studio, I can't remember the name of the studio.
So you brought up something very important. I think we can pause and kind of elaborate a little bit. Beat making versus producer. Like, I think people don't understand the difference. Can you elaborate a little bit? Tell us about from your perspective, what's the difference between being a beat maker and being a producer?
Well, you know how when people, for example, like Kanye West or like a Swiss Beats, they'll do an interview and they will say, yeah, I can knock out like 10, 20 beats a day. So that's not really producing the whole entire song. Excuse me. That's just coming up with the skeleton so that you can prepare yourself to add singers, different writers, different musicians to complete the actual record. So I could sit down in the studio all day and make 50 beats like this. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. Beat making is just sequencing your skeleton. And then once you find that, then you start to produce the record. How many writers do I need for this joint? Do I need a drummer? Do I need a rapper? Like, for example, DJ Khaled, P. Diddy, people always say, "Oh, these guys are not producers because they're not touching nothing." Nah, they producers because they know how to make a song.
Right.
They know how to make hit records.
Right.
They can take an acapella from a whole different song, flip it, and put it in a new record.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you call producing.
Right.
Quincy Jones.
Yeah. Oh, Quincy the best.
Don't know how to play nothing, not one instrument.
Oh, he could play trumpet. He played trumpet.
He played trumpet?
Yeah.
Oh, word?
But he became more of an arranger and composer. But he was a trumpeter.
So he just played trumpet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. Which again, I think that his mastery was in understanding how all the pieces come together. And that's, to me, what a producer is. That's producing. Is understanding. Because I think, and I just explained this to some of my students this week. I said, a beat maker, like you said, can create and just make 1 million beats. You know what I'm saying? Literally. Because there's not as far of a vision that you have to have for it. It's really just putting things together. It sounds good together. These pieces fit good together. But then there's more pieces to a song. A song and a hit record at that has way more pieces than just a beat. A beat is just a piece of it. But being able to, and you're talking about coming from Quincy's time, a time when your sequencer was the drummer playing the entire song down, and the bass player playing the entire song down, and the guitarist locking in. And so when you had to have musicians lock in, that's different than you playing a sequence that you have 4 bars and it's looping, you know, for 3 minutes. So a different discipline, a different work that it took to do it. And so, Quincy, one of the best, man. And even you fast forward to a Dr. Dre, even Dre, you can kind of see from his work, his body of work, that he was not just instrumental in the beat, he was instrumental in the song creation.
The actual song.
In the film they depict that he was showing Eazy-E how to rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like how to rhyme and how to ride the beat. All of those things as a producer to be able to like see the ending, like to really understand how it should finish. And so I think, like you said, that's really the discipline. So
and beat making is, don't get me wrong, guys, like beat making is
skills.
Is so much fun. Like it's so much fun. But producing is more of on to me, I think, on the business side of things. You know what I mean? Because when you got labels coming to you, knocking on your door, like, yo, we need a hit.
Yeah.
All right, let's handle business.
They're not necessarily going to beat makers.
Right.
They're going to producers.
Right.
Honestly. I mean, Kanye, one of the most prolific producers in his day, because he still was able to produce his own music. You know what I mean? He had a vision for his own music, and I'm sure for some of the artists that he worked with. But initially, he was a beat maker. Initially, when he was getting his chops, he was building as a beat maker. Yeah. He was building like, I'm gonna do 10 beats a day, and all that stuff. And that's the skill. But now you map the skill to vision, and map the skill to being able to see a picture, to paint a picture, you know, and that's real production, is to be able to see and paint a picture. You got to work with some of my friends that I was working with at one time, Soul Diggers. I remember when they first met at Soul Digger, like when Kay and Bless first met, because I was working with Bless prior to that. And so actually, Bless showed me how to use the MPC 3000.
So you was around that time as well, even before.
And the MPC, I like that just opened up the world of production to me. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding how it worked. And I was coming in as a keyboardist, just really, playing keys.
Just playing on different records,
But learning, like, okay, I want to learn that too. And so, by the time I did learn it, I was like, okay, I'll go into college. I was like, I'm buying me a MPC 2000.
That was your first joint.
I bought the 2000. And from there, I just mastered MPC. Like, and to me, again, it's a certain standard for production. Like people make beats now. A lot of people make beats with loops. And even when I start my students out, just because it's accessible, I start them with like something with loops, like garage band. Or something. But the thing is that I learned, first of all, I was a drummer. I was a drummer in church too.
I think I remember you telling me that.
So being a drummer in church, you get an idea of what rhythm is and what staying on the beat in the pocket and all of that. And so those things translate into production in terms of just hearing how fills go and how to build up and stuff like that. So, but like when I got introduced to the MPC boy, I was like, okay, this is all I need.
How long you was with Soul Diggers, bro?
So I started with Bless like my sophomore year of high school. And by the time I was going to college, it was like 3 years. By the time I was going to college, they were moving into a different place and like really kind of blowing up. And that was the time when I really was like, I want to stay home and do this. But I was like, man, I got to go to school. So I'm gonna be honest, I missed out on some opportunities going to school. But I mean, you know, everything happens the way it's supposed to.
It's funny that you said that, bro, because I was in the same situation, man. I don't tell a lot of people this, but I was going to go to what's the black college?
Which one? Howard?
Yes, I auditioned there, bro.
Wow.
Drumline. Wow. And got accepted, bro. But for some reason, I did not want to go.
Wow.
I wanted to stay.
Wow.
Well, number one, I don't like the roommate. That was the one thing. I'm so bougie, y'all. But and number two, when that opportunity came, I was like, bro, I gotta take it.
Yeah.
So I just went that route.
The production route.
And I'm happy that I went that route. You know, it really worked out for me, bro. So
yeah. Nah.
And I just went to I was at Essex County.
Right.
So I was still in school.
Still got some
yeah,
school.
But I just did county, stay with pops.
But
you know,
you was around.
I was around, bro. Yeah.
So you ended up working with Soul Diggers, and I know through that relationship, at some point they actually got a relationship with Missy Elliott, and so you were around for that. And then you tell us about like your working with Missy.
Yeah, but before we even get into Missy,
you can go through your story.
Listen, we gotta talk about how I even got to Soul Diggers.
Okay,
and it's amazing because if it wasn't for the church, bro, like just me connecting with different people in the church, and you know everybody was coming through, chosen, coming in and out, and a guy named. Because I got to give him his flowers, man. If it wasn't for him, do you know Omar Benders?
Yeah, I know Omar.
Yeah, Benders. So if it wasn't for Omar Benders, bro, because he knew that I was doing a lot of production first starting, and one day he was like, "Yo, let me hear your stuff." So I played him. I had like a lot of records, man. I had a lot of just beats, just ready on a CD, and he was like, "Man, I know these guys," and Orange, they call it Soul Diggers. They got a spot in Orange. And I was like, word. And I was like, yo, I would love to just come around and just, you know, just connect and network. So he said, yo, I'm gonna lock you in. And I went there, bro. Went there. I was the youngest one in there.
Yeah.
Everybody got fitteds on, hoodies, white tee. I'm coming in with like a suit jacket on with some shoes.
Is church ready?
Looking at me crazy, like, what's this boy doing here? Like Ryan Leslie, like, and I'll never forget about it, man. It was a couple of dudes in there. K-Mac was there, and Sean Bless obviously got me there, and started playing joints, and everybody was just like really feeling the vibes of what I brought to the table. So ever since then, I just locked in. And that's how I got a chance to meet with Missy, and that's when it started to branch out.
Right.
Yeah, that's when it started to branch out, bro.
That's fire. Again, shout out to those guys. I love those guys. Again, that's where I started. So I started on was it Laventhal. That was where his mom used to live.
Okay,
and the studio was in the basement. But what? So now you fast forward. So what was it like? So Missy Elliott, known for, first of all, amazing eclectic music, like one of one producer, rapper, singer, all of the things.
Everything.
What was that experience like? And then now, of course, you're working with somebody who came from another big lineage, Devontae Swing, who was like the camp she came out of. So
yeah,
what was it like to work with somebody who, because I know her work ethic is ridiculous.
So first of all, I didn't even know who Devontae was at the time.
Wow. Legend.
So that was already a kick in the head. They calling me like, boy, what are you doing here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know anything about Devontae Jodeci because I was still heavily in the church scene, not as much in the R&B 90s, you know. So definitely like artist development as far as being with her.
Yeah.
And that was cool. So obviously, once again, Soul Diggers have a great relationship with Missy.
Yeah.
So from time to time, they would go to the house. They would go to her house.
Yeah.
She got like 1 million houses, right? So she got one. she got one in Kennelong. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much. She got one in Jersey. You can bleep that out.
Yeah.
So one day, Sean Bless, and I thought he was lying, bro. Honestly, he was like, "Bro, you want to come up to Missy's spot of work?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro. You know, it's cool." Because the first time he asked me, we didn't go.
Okay.
So when he asked me again, I was like, "You're probably gonna cancel."
Right.
And met up with Sean Bless. We got in his car, and we never forget about it, bro. Go in the crib. Hey, miss, this is D-Boy. They used to call me D-Boy before Mr. Lab, right? Yeah. So this is D-Boy. She just eating cereal. I'll never forget about it. Hey, D-Boy. And that was it. Just kept it. And I was never the type of person.
Go ahead. I'm going to tell you a story about another producer eating cereal.
And I was never the type of person that was kind of starstruck by celebrities. I just never... So I just waved like I knew her, like, hey, miss.
Like, hey.
And then we went to the basement and just started working.
Right.
But go ahead, bro.
It's funny when it just reminded me of a story to share real quick. But when I was in high school, my best friend's mom worked with celebrities, Al B. Shore, a bunch of other people. And so one day we went to the studio and we was with Vincent Herbert.
Oh, Vincent.
And Vince was a big producer at the time, but he wasn't like a big celebrity where everybody know who he was. But we in the studio and he's in there playing video games, eating cereal.
Just like regular.
I'm like, yo, this is regular.
But that's
what it is.
I realize that these are regular people.
Right. It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? These are regular people, yo.
Yeah.
Like one time, you know, I came up to the house. She told me to come through. So as I get to the house, the door is open. So I thought she left the door open for me. So I'm knocking on the door like, miss, you know, big house, miss, before I even go in. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can go inside. So I go inside. I'm like, miss, where are you? And then I go to the basement and I'm just sitting waiting. I'm like, I'm texting her, I'm calling her, she's not, nothing. And then all I hear is cops, like, somebody there.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm here for Miss. And when she finally heard me, she was like, oh, I was hiding in the in the
safe room or something?
In the closet. Wow. I didn't know who that was. Yeah, man. So that was a crazy, definitely a crazy experience, bro. But
wow.
But got love for her, man. Learned so much, bro. Like she was the core of who I am today as a producer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I can just walk in any room, any studio with just a pencil and cup and a cup and I'm good. Like let's lock in. I don't need no equipment.
Right.
Like that's how it was sometimes. It's like we don't gotta have the best. Like Need You Bad by Jasmine Sullivan. Mm-hmm. She recorded that whole album at that crib. Wow. And they didn't even have a mic stand. She had to hold the mic. That's how she recorded that actual record, Need You Bad, bro. Wow. Yeah, so when I heard that, I'm like, yo, it's all about the energy and good vibes.
Yeah, more than anything.
Who cares about the stands? Who cares about $1 million mic? Yeah, nah. Use a dollar mic. You can still make it.
You got the vibe, and you you can set it up
still
right,
make it happen.
That's if you into excellence, then is that protrudes the equipment. You know what I'm saying? It goes past the equipment. So I definitely understand. What do you think is your best lesson you learned working with Bless or Missy or whoever?
Like I just said, bro, you don't have to have the best equipment in order to make a hit. That always stuck in my head, bro. It doesn't really matter. If you know what you're doing, then something good is gonna come out of it.
Yeah,
that's like
for sure.
Always been a part of mine. That's why for a long time, bro, I've never really got into buying hardware and keyboards and synthesizers, because in my mind I'm like, I don't really need that.
Yeah.
All I need is just a computer for me to just get things done.
Yeah.
I just started venturing out to buying synthesizers just to keep me going, keep it more exciting,
keep inspiring you too.
Yeah.
The sounds will inspire,
and just creating 2 different studios. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, I was straight at just like keep it simple.
What was one of your like worst situations you ever been in, or like craziest situation you had to deal with in your career?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't think I got one, bro.
You just keep it light. It ain't nothing crazy like that.
Cause I'm so chill on top of that. So nothing don't really bother me, man. I just want to be a sponge, you know what I'm saying? And learn and whatever the case may be, whatever the situation is, I'm just here to work. So even living with her in Atlanta was like a whole different ballgame for me, because I've never been away from home that long, away from my parents for that long, and having to leave like my church gig, having to leave the El Varna gig.
Yeah,
it was a big decision that I had to make. You know what I'm saying? Right. One day she was like, "Yo, you want to come to Atlanta?" And I was like, "Yo,
how can you say no?"
I mean, you could.
But I mean, like, if this is what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, you could, bro, but it really depends on your situation. And at the time, I was open enough to make that decision.
Yeah.
So it was all worth it, bro. Yeah. It was all worth it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, good and bad, good and bad.
Right. Now, I know you also, on a different note, you were producing Afrobeat, like early in the Afrobeat process. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, so that's a whole different situation. That's not even with Missy. That's just a whole different vibe. There was an artist, and he's still around. We just don't really work as much. But his name is Chris Akiemi, and I met Chris, I would say 2008, and he's a Nigerian guy. So we just started to click. He's a guitar player. So at the time, in the beginning, we wasn't even doing Afro-pop, bro. We was doing stuff like John Mayer, like that type of stuff, alternative. Right. And his cousins just had a machine to where they can generate money to advertise or brand his art.
Music? Okay.
Right? At that time too.
Yeah.
You feel me? So records like Radio, we did a record called Radio, and it ended up on MTVU Unplugged.
Wow.
His video.
Wow.
So we shot the video in New York, and it ended up on MTVU. So that was a big deal around that time.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's almost like artist development. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that more than I do just making beats.
Right.
Like I'd rather just take anybody and say, yo, lock in with me.
Right.
I can make you from nothing to something. I can, you know what I'm saying? I enjoy that. That's like my rush.
Yeah.
You get me? But fast forward, we stopped doing the John Mayer stuff and we changed genres like 2 or 3 times, bro. The third time was Afro-pop.
Okay. And
he put me on to Afro-pop, even before it was a thing in America, bro.
Yeah.
Like Afro-pop wasn't a thing. around 2011.
Right.
They put me on. So when they put me on, I was like, wow, this is dope. Like, this is drum driven, a lot of tribal percussion going on. So I was like, bro, let's start making Afro-pop music. And for some reason, we was like, bro, watch, one day Afro-pop is going to come to America and it's going to become something. They tried it before, but it didn't really stick. Right. That's what we were saying at the time. It was like, let's get on it now.
Yeah.
And this is 2011, but let's get on it now. So we did a couple of records. Fast forward, it's slowly coming to America. Artists like Davido, you know Davido? Artists like WizKid was coming to America. And bro, grace of God, man. One day we was in the studio working on music, me and Chris Akiemi. And one of his cousins, there was a guy that was working for this company called Temple Management Company in Nigeria. And he was like, bro, he was telling us, I need you to pick up one of the guys from the airport to take him somewhere. And we thought it was an opportunity because we was like, yo, he got some pull in Nigeria. Let's scoop him up.
Yeah.
We stopped doing what we was doing in the studio, picked him up, played him our music. He was like, bro, I'm about to call the CEO of Temple Management and have you guys have a meeting. So we got a little pumped up. We had the meeting at Rock Nation. So the CEO, his name is Idris. We go to Rock Nation and we meet Biggs. He in the room with Biggs and is Idris and a couple of guys. And they're just talking about just politics, you know, but we're there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Y'all in the room.
We in the room. So they started playing our music. And Biggs was like, yo, these boys is dope. These boys is nice. And that was it, bro. You know what I'm saying? The meeting was over and had more conversations with the CEO. Next thing you know, we get signed.
Wow.
So I got signed as a producer at Temple Management, and Chris A got signed as an artist.
Wow.
Yeah, we were signed to them for about 3-4 years. So we was going back and forth to Nigeria, bro. Like they were flying us first class.
You told me that before.
What? You talking about light skinned brother in Nigeria, brother? Ooh-wee. Let's not talk about that, bro. But it was a good experience, you know. Yeah, boy. Yeah.
I mean, what was the culture like? What was that? That's a whole different thing to be involved. Like you grew up here. What was it like to be in that culture and doing what you're doing?
Well, I think I was already adjusted to it because, like I said, my closest friends, Chris Akiemi and Ty Sue's another artist that I work with, and their cousins as well. I was around their families, bro. Yeah, so as far as just knowing the culture, knowing the food, and knowing how to talk to that environment, felt like home. Yeah, good. You know what I'm saying? Felt like home. So yeah, that was cool, bro. And we had a single called Culture with me and Chris Akiemi, and also we had a record with this artist named Nina Ola, and she is still a popular artist in Nigeria. Nice. It's called Jasoro. Okay. Yeah, shot those videos. So it was, yeah. And now Afro-pop is all over the place.
Yeah.
And you know Burna Boy?
Yeah, of course.
So before Burna Boy was even big in America, he was still hot in Nigeria, bro.
Okay, back then.
He was hot in Nigeria, but wasn't hot here.
Right.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
How it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It takes some time for different sounds to catch on, you know?
Yeah.
But that's how it is. So, all right. So what are you doing now musically? Like, what's your motivations now? What are you going for? Because I see some of your videos, and you know, I see a lot of experimental things. But what are you working on?
Well, you got to understand, man. I feel like the industry is so different now, bro. Yeah, so different now, man. I mean, we can make music on our phones. we can make music just by using a mic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So how I look at the industry is almost like it's almost like therapy for me, man.
Right.
It's definitely like therapy. And I always say musicians, artists, always find another way to bring in income. Just don't rely on music fully. You know what I'm saying? Because in this business, things can go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So I would say try to start a business. The money that you make from your music, start a business so that you can still, get cash flow just flowing. So that's where I'm at now, bro.
No, for sure. We talk about pivoting. That's what we call pivoting.
Yeah.
Which is basically like finding something else, either instead of or just additional to, like supplement to. And we know as musicians, like I've worked with you in church, worked with you on records, worked with you on the gig scene. You know what I'm saying? So there's always those things as musicians, and like, if you're just home, then that's what you should be doing. You know what I mean? You should be working, especially as you have the capacity to do it.
Right.
But if it's nothing wrong with having a gig to a job. There's nothing wrong with none of those things.
People think that if you're this type of celebrity, oh, your focus just got to be on that and that's it. Nah, man, you got some rappers and artists that's still picking up food. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay.
Yeah,
that's
whatever
cool.
you got to do. I think it was Akon that said it famously, like, hey, like, keep your day job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all
like,
good.
As long as you can and as long as you need to, because one, even the business of royalty is not the same anymore, because there's just you figure, how do people consume their music now? More so in streaming, and streaming just really has not worked out for most artists. You know what I mean? So if that's your plan to look at the success of people from back in the day when they were actually selling CDs and records and albums for a decent amount of money, you know what I'm saying? Even when I met you and I met your mom, she was selling CDs. So at least a CD, you're gonna make $10, a pop, and you know what? Sell.
And that's what my mother was doing, bro. Literally,
what you call it just did it.
J. Cole.
J. Cole just did it. So again, it just shows you a model that is kind of foolproof, especially in a time when people aren't doing it. Right. Because now you're the anomaly. And it's like a specialty, like, I got something that people don't have. Like people selling vinyl too, like that. Like, you got something that is collectible. You don't, back in our day, CDs were so cheap, man. You would have 1 million CDs in your house and be lost.
Go to downtown Newark, bootleg, 2 for $5.
Yeah, and you would just have everything. But now, because you don't have that, selling your own is special again. You know what I mean? So.
I think now for me, my focus is really just branding myself more. You know what I'm saying? Branding myself as a producer more. Because I feel like a lot of producers not even doing that. They think it's just, let's lock in the studio and that's it. But things are so different now. You just can't get a pub deal and then you good. Nah, but I don't even think pub deals exist.
I think they're just few and far between.
Maybe 50,000 to 40,000, but that ain't really. I mean, it's hard to recoup that.
If you could get a hit, anybody.
Radio though.
And that's the hard thing. Yeah, a radio hit. Nowadays, a lot of people are getting sync hits. Like if you get a commercial.
That's where it's at.
If you get a commercial, that's like a radio hit, because the TV is going to play as much or more than a radio.
Right.
And so people will now Shazam you from the TV, and now they stream you. But now once they know you, the publishing companies will say, okay, this song is generating money. Yeah. So we need to be in on this. Yeah. Whoever this person is. So that's, to me, your path, one of your paths. Radio is just always still going to be good, but it's hard. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's not, I had some good radio play, but it's hard. It's expensive. It takes a long time.
Very expensive.
It's worth it, especially if you can get to those top tiers, because that's really where you make some traction. But I remember talking to an executive, a record executive, and they were like, yo, you could have a number one record and people still not even know who you are.
Yeah,
because
that's
at the end of the day,
that's true.
The way that it's working these days, you kind of paying your way in a little bit, and you're getting the influence of somebody who has the influence, and they'll get you to number one. But once you're at number one, it's like, all right, cool.
You got to find a way to stick.
Exactly. Well, you got to actually do the work. You got to go meet the people. You got to do the interviews. You got to do the concerts. You got to do the things.
Show your face.
Yeah. If they don't think you exist, then you don't exist.
Yeah.
Even if they hear you on the radio.
Yeah.
So.
And that's one of the reasons why Kanye West is still relevant to this day, because it shows his face.
He's gonna show up.
Sure.
Yeah. I think one thing I've heard about, and I'm thinking I'm going to also pursue a little bit, is producer albums, like just an album of your music that like producers put out, like not necessarily always with an artist. Sometimes with an artist, like you might just like have a compilation of artists or that you work with or that you're with, and that is a thing that showcases what you can do too. So I think that's something to explore, because at this point, man, I would love to, I would love to be rich off of this, right? But whether I am or not, I still want my music to be heard. You know what I'm saying? So,
and to own, just keep all your rights too. That's
right. Be
very
a rights
important.
owner.
Yeah, absolutely. That's key.
I think there's something to one, branding consistently. There's something to creating consistently, and then finding your own ways to release and to get your music out there.
Yeah. Like for example, the Afro-pop artist Rima. You ever heard of Rima? Yeah, the song "Slow Down."
Okay.
Or "Calm Down, Baby, Calm Down."
Yeah.
Bro, his team had to put up $2.5 million.
Wow.
For that one song.
Wow.
And got Selena Gomez.
That's what it takes.
And they just recouped it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They triple.
And that's the thing. You it's a chance to take, because you're gonna be in super debt.
It's like investing.
But, I remember someone told my cuz, like, yo, your music is fire. You just need to get like 250,000 and promote it. And I'm like, that sounds great. If you got 250,000,
just laying there. Yeah.
Or if you got the credit, maybe, because even if you got the credit, you're gonna be in debt. That's either way. So it's just, it gotta work. You know what I'm saying? But you think about record deals, all those are is debt too. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's just somebody else that's saying, yo, I'm gonna hold your debt, and I'm gonna not only collect a lion's share of what you get back, but I'm also going to collect on every dollar that you have to pay. So let's say if we got a deal, I think I forget who it was that was talking about this, like a big artist, and he was just saying a Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll was talking about it. He was just like, I wanted to say, he said something like, not only do you have to give the record company like 90% of whatever you're making on it, but then even that 10% you might get, that has to start paying back what you owe them.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you owed them $1 million, and let's say you made $1 million.
Yeah, bro.
You only able to pay back 10% of that from what you got.
Yeah.
So they made 900,000, but that's just theirs. That 100,000 is the first payment of your $1 million.
It's tough,
man. Crazy.
It's tough.
That's crazy work. But so in the scenario of getting a loan, if you get a loan, that's terms with you. You pay back whatever you pay back at whatever term you pay it back. Right. And now you just really, if you get a line of credit, even better. You could just pay it down, spend it, pay it down, spend it, and keep putting out records until you make
but the difference between being with a label, they got the machine behind it. Oh yeah. So let's just say you took a loan out for yourself, and then what are you gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying?
That's why you got to understand the machine.
Yeah,
you have to
exactly.
make friends with the same machine. Yeah. I mean, look. This is the thing about the machine. It's people. It's people. And it's systems, right? Like even if, let's say, part of the machine is bots, because labels use bots too to run up their numbers, right? The people who selling the bots, they don't care where their money come from. Right. They taking the money from whomever. So same thing with radio play. You go to a radio promoter, they taking the money from whoever. You know what I'm saying? Now they might prioritize this label because they got 10 artists to your one artist, but they're gonna take your money and they're gonna do the same thing. So you know, it really just comes down to having the money at the end of the day.
That's true.
And then knowing the right people, which you can find out. But so what's next on the agenda for Mr. Lab?
Well, right now, man, I'm working on this. Not supposed to be talking about it, but I'm working on a game. Like I'm doing music for a game.
Dope.
Yeah. Somebody threw me a crazy check, so I'm locked in, like 50 songs.
That's fire.
So that's my main focus for the
whole. So you're doing the whole game, all of the music.
All of the music.
That's dope.
Yeah. But it'll be out soon though.
That's fine.
Yeah, it'll be out soon. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. And of course, still working with different artists. Still doing artist development with certain artists. Still playing, bro.
Yeah.
In case y'all didn't know, drummer for L. Varner for a couple of years. So still doing my thing, bro. And all, on top of that, I was in the movie too, bro.
Oh yeah, you did some acting. Now, weren't you doing modeling before too?
Just a little bit, man, but more just acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that go? How was that experience? I should say?
It was a different experience for sure. Cause you know me, man. I'm like behind the scenes, just chill.
Yeah.
But I came out of character, bro, and that was a great experience, man. Men Don't Cheat. Yeah.
That's
Men Don't Cheat on Tubi. Yeah.
No, nice.
Men Don't Cheat. So, cause I always felt like, I don't know, man. I always felt like, I may not be the best producer or the best musician, but I feel like just all around person that touch certain things. I felt like I accomplished that in a way. You know what I mean? Touching, acting, or going on tour, or being a producer, or being a musician, or teaching, or doing that type of thing, man. Or even doing modeling too at a young age too. Yeah. So I'm like very blessed that I even got a chance to do those things and
for sure
experience those things, bro. And travel to Nigeria and go to a whole different industry, a whole different sound.
Yeah.
And for me to accomplish that was like a blessing, bro.
Now that's dope. What advice would you give somebody, especially these days, like somebody starting out, like if you were just starting out, you were 15 years old, looking at like, this industry, all of this stuff, what would you tell yourself now if you were now counseling your 15-year-old self about what path to take, what they should do, what they shouldn't do?
Learn the business, bro. Learn the business, because if not, they will run you down.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to be more hardcore. Speak up.
Yeah.
Know who you are as a person, because if not, they'll take it away. And I've been in situations where my mouth was shut. They told me to don't say anything, keep your mouth closed, and I just did what I did. So if I had to go back, my business would be a lot sharper for sure.
Yeah.
And even on the first, my first placement, which was the Monica record, Everything to Me, I laid drums on that. And, that situation was like a learning curve.
Yeah.
Because not having my full name on the credits was like
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we all learn, bro.
Yeah.
We all learn, bro.
That's the trick about some of those experiences are the learning. And we just got to learn a lesson early so we don't repeat that test again,
Yeah. So learn the business, guys. Like really study on what you're doing. Also artist development, man. Know what's going on in the streets, bro. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, bro.
What was your favorite experience?
My favorite experience? Yeah, that 40th Diddy birthday party.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like that was like when I walked in those doors, that was like I'm here. Like like I'm here. You feel me?
Nice.
Like both feet is in the door. That's how I felt. Cause I met a lot of great people.
Yeah.
Like Beyonce, Jay,
nice.
Mid Condition, Trey Songz, like Oprah, everybody was there, Lil Kim, like. So that was
it's crazy. His part. I got to go. My cousins were on the tour with him.
Which tour?
The Press Play.
Oh, dope.
Last night.
Yeah.
So I flew out there. I was like, yo, I'm gonna go hang with them. So I happened to come out there, and they had this party for PlayStation. It was one of their PlayStation consoles that they were launching, and I mean, everybody was at this party, bro.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, comedians. I saw Chris Rock, Bill Maher. I saw, Paris Hilton. Everybody. It's just like everybody. And it was like a mall that was like a abandoned mall, and it just took over the whole space and just kind of built the whole party. It was crazy. It was because it was PlayStation, so everything was like play themed. They had like candy shop and all this kind of stuff. It was dope though, but it was just dope to see things on that scale. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't the first time I saw stuff. Like I got to, my aunt built Puffy Studio, so I got to see that. I got to see that stuff, firsthand. You know
like Daddy House in the
Daddy's
city?
House, absolutely. My aunt built Daddy's House.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So that was something that I spent time there. My brother worked there, my cousin worked there because they were working with my aunt. So again, even that whole thing about celebrity, like I've been in a room with 112.
Right.
I've been in a room with those producers and stuff like that. So it's not something that you'd be like, oh my gosh, this is it's just like, yo, they regular, man. They cool too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My brother was going to the store for Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let me go bring him back some food from, whatever, because he was working at the studio. So those are just experiences that, again, they give you perspective, but they also, in different spaces, they allow you to kind of hold your head up and say like, okay, if I could do that on that level, then I could do it on this other level that's probably not Diddy.
I think that's what it was.
You know what I'm saying? It gives you a certain confidence just being in spaces that other people regard all the way up here,
Yeah. I think that's what it was, because I wasn't really starstruck. Like I said before, I just felt like, wow, like this, I can really make something out of this. Yeah. That's what it felt like. Yeah. Like this can really be serious.
Right.
This is back in like 2009.
It's real.
Like it's real.
Yeah, my aunt let me record in Daddy's house before, and that was like a real. That was like, okay, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like I don't understand it all, but this access point at least gives me a point in my life where I can say, okay, this happened, so why can't anything else happen?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you would think at that time I was 18, 19. So you would think that I would only care about just partying, drinking, and smoking and just dancing. But bro, I was networking. Yeah. I was talking. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure a lot of kids at that time wouldn't even do that. They would just be so locked in, just like trying to turn up. And I'm just like, yo, this is my opportunity. Yeah. I'm still with Soul Diggers, but I'm about to lock in, meet, talk. So that was the situation. And that's how I got myself to work on the Last Train to Paris album around that time. Be going to Daddy's house. I was going to Daddy's house. Yeah. I didn't have a laptop. And it was like, yo, bring your computer. So the iMac, all in one.
You was bringing the whole iMac?
I was bringing the whole iMac, bro. Right. The whole screen,
hey, whatever you needed. That's
brought
what you
it to the studio with no case.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the truck.
Right. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, bro. Locked in. That's how bad I wanted it, bro.
Yeah. That's what it takes.
Yeah, man.
That's dope, man. Listen, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, bro.
I wish you phenomenal success because you're so talented.
Appreciate you, bro.
Where can people check you out, hit you up? They want to check out your music. Where can they check that out?
Yeah, you guys can go to my IG, The Only Mr. Lab, as well as my TikTok and my Facebook, also YouTube. So you guys can just check me out, man. Love y'all.
Nice. Thank you. The Musicianship Podcast. Come back again. Peace. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for listening. To stay up to date between episodes, follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you liked what you heard today, or if there's something specific you want us to dive into next, leave us a comment. Catch you in the next episode.